All right, let's get to the NFL quarterback power rankings. So how we're going to do this is we're going to break it up into eight segments. So we're going to go 32 through 29, each of us, and then we're going to discuss and then keep going forward with that. So why don't you go first, because it'll be easier for me to type this into the banner, which I'm going to try to do without messing up, and I probably will. So who are your 32 through 29?
Okay, so coming in at 32, I have both Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert listed. So basically, the Chargers starter comes in at the bottom. I think Taylor's the lowest end of the veteran starting quarterbacks in the league. He can be accurate, but just down short. He's not accurate downfield, but he's accurate in the short to intermediate game. So he can be a game manager, so that's fine, but nothing special. 31's Gardner Minshew, 30's Dwayne Haskins, and 29 is Derek Carr. So those are my four at this juncture. Do you want me to break down why I have them and then you give yours, or do you want to give yours next and then we debate?
I'll give mine and then we can debate, I think. So I have 32 Dwayne Haskins, 31 Justin Herbert. So I went with Herbert over Taylor, but I can understand Taylor. I think Taylor's going to start week 1. So, but I think Herbert by week 5 or 6. 30 is Tua Tagovailoa, only because I don't know if he's going to play this year. And then 29 is Minshew. So we have 3 agreements here. You have Haskins 2 spots above. Derek Carr is the one who really stands out to me. So what do you want to talk about why you have Carr so low?
Yeah, I just think, we've seen Carr at his ceiling be good. I mean, he was once an MVP candidate, but at this point in his career, I just feel like he plateaued and even regressed at a certain point. Like, he's a super accurate quarterback and he can get the job done as a game manager, but I don't see him as anything more than that. I think the Raiders offense has a lot of deep threats in it, which goes counter to what I view Derek Carr as a starter. Like, he's better underneath, but Henry Ruggs and Tyrell Williams are more downfield playmakers. Granted, Ruggs is a great route runner too, so he can get open, but I just don't think he's going to find success in this Vegas offense. I think he might get unseated by Marcus Mariota as a result. I know Mariota has some downfield throwing concerns as well, but I think with the tenuous grasp that Carr has on the starting job there, at least in my opinion, that makes him worthy of 29. But you could convince me to go a little bit higher on him, but I tend to how I do rankings is the lower ones are usually veterans who I know what they are. I don't think they're going to progress much, so I rank them lower, and that's how I feel about Derek Carr at this point.
That's just interesting strategy. So a lot of the quarterbacks, like with Tua, I didn't put him higher because A, he may not play, and B, we don't know what we're going to get with him. Although I like him as a prospect, I think he's going to be great eventually, or he's a good chance to be great. But like I said, this is for 2020. So if he plays 2 games, like how high should he be ranked? Like that's what I was thinking with Tua. Like, that's the one guy I didn't have. I see your point with Derek Carr, though. I mean, he could easily be in my bottom 4. I can't really argue against it. I spoke to one coach who used to coach him, and he said Derek Carr plays scared. And when I heard that, this is a few years ago, I heard this. When I heard that, I'm like, oh my God, like, this guy's not going to be very good. And I keep saying on the site that the Raiders have to upgrade quarterback, and maybe they will with Mariota. I think by this time next year, if we're talking about Mariota in our rankings as Brooklyn's, the Vegas' starting quarterback, I think I would not be surprised by that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. And, I want to say, like, I don't think Derek Carr is like the worst quarterback ever. I think like you can get by with him as a starter, but I just don't think like the Oakland system suits him. That's my biggest knock on him right now. But like, if they change things around him, or, if he went somewhere else, maybe things would be a little bit different and I'd have a higher viewpoint of him. But for now, 29, I think is where I'll keep him.
Yeah, that makes sense. Anything with my bottom 4? I mean, I had Haskins 32.
I'm like contractually obligated by myself to rank Haskins slightly higher because Redskins fans will crucify me if I don't. What I'll say about Haskins is that, those 2 games at the end of the season, he really showed what he can be, and I'm expecting growth from him. Now, I'm not going to go crazy and put him in like at the 16th spot yet. I think that's like where he might be able to finish the season as, depending on how he progresses. We'll see what happens. But not putting him at 32 is basically me saying like, hey, we saw growth from him. They said he wasn't ready to start the season. He got thrown into action because of a lame duck coaching staff. So, but I have no issues with you putting him at 32. Like, he was awful for a majority of last season. It was just those last 2 games that showed a lot of promise.
He was so awful that what's his face? Jeff Driscoll was favored by 4 on the road again. That's how bad he was.